When was the last time you saw Conor McGregor? The UFC star who used to be very fit looks like he's been eating too much, lol. Where did the mean, lean killing machine that we all loved go? He looks like a swollen, puffy version of himself has taken place. There are clear signs that Conor McGregor's face has changed over the years. His face is no longer chiseled and sharp, which made him look like a Greek god. Instead, we get a look that's rounder and almost puffy. He's been stress eating his way through retirement, it seems. Chapter 1: Trip to Past. The astonishing change that happened to Conor showed how strong and determined he was. It is hard to believe that such a big change happened in less than 2 years, a time that saw both success and failure. To fully understand how much Conor has changed, it's important to remember the time when he was at his best. This time serves as a guide for his journey. That important day was June 15th, 2021, when Conor came out of surgery after UFC 264 with a broken leg. He reached a turning point in his life, the start of a new part of his journey. Understanding this time is important for understanding how much he changed, because it shows how much he improved in the years that followed.
What's up, guys? Just after getting out of the hospital. I'm after getting settled into my apartment. I'm going to be here for a while. It's close to the doctors. And I have one of these things to get around on. Elevated. And I have this little thing to get around on. Keep a positive mindset. You know, we've got this. Look, here we go this way. We've got this. I had a couple of ups and downs the last couple of days. I had a great birthday yesterday. I appreciate all the birthday messages all you guys sent me. Thanks so much for that. You know, I came out of surgery. I was feeling, very euphoric.
When you look more closely, you can see that the Conor in this video doesn't look like himself at all. To begin, his sunken cheeks and prominent nasolabial folds show that he has lost a lot of facial fat. This has been a trait of his throughout his adult life, even when he was at the top of his career. Another thing is that his skin doesn't seem too thick and his face looks a bit narrow and a bit longer. Some people might think that this change in look is only because he lost weight, but that's not the case. Someone can't help but think that this change might have been more. Could it be that the person has had surgery on their face or even used drugs to make such a big difference in how they look? The quick and noticeable change in his face makes it hard to ignore the questions it brings up. It's important to go into this situation with an open mind and be ready to think about all the possibilities. Although losing weight can change the way someone looks, the drastic change that was seen in this case makes me think that it's important to stay neutral and avoid jumping to conclusions as we continue to look into and talk about this interesting development. The truth behind this person's change might be more complicated than it seems at first. You might have noticed that he looks different. This could be because he has male pattern baldness, a disease that affects many men. When a Twitter user, Dustin Poirier, tweeted, it seemed to make Conor McGregor nervous, which led to some online talk. It may seem silly to talk about someone's physical traits, but in this case, doing so helps us understand how McGregor's looks are changing and what might be causing it. This is different from the McGregor we used to know. Is it just a normal change, or are there other things going on? The mystery grows as we think about the small changes in his look.
Last fight, I kind of bought into that. I was in the press conference and a guy was reading out a quote of mine from many years ago where I was like, talking about, I can't wait, I'm gonna put my mother in a mansion, my girlfriend's gonna have a car for every day of the week, and I was feeding into that. Wow, I did all this. I'm where I am. I'm grateful. I'm proud of where I am and what I've achieved. But there's a lot more left in me. I'm still very young. I'm very fresh in the game, and I'm a dangerous man, Stephen. I'm the most dangerous of them all.
Does this change have anything to do with time, or is there something else going on? There is a lot of talk about what might be going on with McGregor's changing image. Is it just a result of getting older, or could something outside of it be causing this? As we think about the different options, the plot gets more complicated. There may have been a hint of drug help or maybe a touch of cosmetic improvement in McGregor's change. Chapter 2. The initial changes.
How's it going, Conor? Have you any update on the comeback?
Sorry?
Have you any update on the comeback?
Yes, I'm en route, son. En route.
Not December though, right?
We're still hoping out for December.
What happened?
Nothing happened. Steady on, steady on.
Why won't Dana just give you a date?
Brother, I don't. It's imminent.
Last one for me. Can we get a prediction for the Dylan Dennis fight?
Dylan's gonna win. Dylan will win. You know, he had the baby. We didn't get to train together, so I don't know the ins and outs. I know he's doing well. He's doing training, and he's gonna go for it.
Are you gonna go to the fight?
Possibly. We'll see.
Now we'll jump ahead about 3 months to September 2021 when Conor's looks start to change in a way that can be seen. There is a noticeable difference in the thickness of Conor's neck and traps, making him look bigger and more bloated. It looks like he's having an allergic reaction because his face is very big and tight, and it has a pinkish tint to it. It's interesting that his hair seems to be getting thinner. This is especially clear in pictures of him arguing with Machine Gun Kelly on the red carpet. Keep in mind that all these changes happen in less than 90 days, which is pretty amazing.
Conor, Rachel from ET. Man, I heard about the scuffle you had with Machine Gun Kelly on the carpet.
No scuffle at all. No, I don't know the man. He's obviously there's him and Megan to be at the fights. And
What happened?
absolutely nothing. I don't know. I just showed up and I don't know. I don't even know the guy, to be honest with you.
Just rumors?
Just rumours. Nothing happened with me. I only fight real fighters, people that actually fight. You know what I mean? I certainly don't fight little vanilla white rappers. You know, I don't even know the guy. I don't know anything about him, except that he's with Megan Fox. You know what I mean? And you know yourself.
More and more, Conor's change is becoming clearer. His face stays swollen all the time, making him look like someone who may have had an allergic response. His neck and traps look bigger, and he often has a red face. His hair is also slowly falling out. These changes are interesting to look at and make you wonder what's really going on. Could it just be weight gain, as many people think? If you look at Conor's body fat percentage at the pool, it doesn't seem much higher than it was during his fight, if it was higher at all. Concerns and questions about Conor's health and well-being are raised by the changes in his appearance. Seeing how quickly his look changes makes you think about what might be causing these changes. We could even say it's a lesson of how our bodies can change without warning, making us think about the mysteries of human physiology and how different things can affect our bodies. Chapter 3: Angle of Hair Transplant. Now, over the course of several months, our hero's hairline seemed to be permanently retreating, slowly moving away from where it used to stand out on his forehead. By November, his hair loss was so bad that he made the brave choice to shave his head and try to find the best answer for his hairline problems, just like famous boxer Floyd Mayweather, who used to be one of his opponents. He flew all the way to Turkey, which is generally thought to be the best place for hair transplants because he wanted to look younger again. There, the careful process of restoring his hairline began, and the effects were truly amazing. In just a few weeks, the change was clear, with the most recent pictures showing a clearly defined new hairstyle. Now, I have some doubts if these pictures are real. Perhaps it's just different camera angles to create the illusion of a fuller, that might be the light present there, you'd say, or maybe he has decided to employ a new buzz cut. See, there are two major types of hair transplants: FUE and FUT. Both are popular ways to treat hair loss. Scarring is the main difference between the two. FUE leaves very little scarring, but FUT can leave a scar on the back of the head that can be seen. People who want a hair transplant, like our friend Conor, usually get follicles from the back of the head and put them in places where they're losing hair. At first, the effects can look good. Your hair starts to grow back, though it's a little scabby. You might even start thinking about what to wear on a night out because you feel ready to rule the dance floor. However, the plot change happens when the new hair falls out. Yep, all of that growth goes away. After that, you just have to wait for the hair to slowly grow back over the next 6 months to a year and a half. For Conor, it's clear that his hairline has changed. It's now slower and straighter, but it's still thin. The final result is unknown. His new hair may never fully reach its former glory based on how quickly it grows back. It can be hard to get a natural look after getting hair transplants. Even though the hair is growing back, the scalp may look a little off, too perfect or too straight. A lot of people who go through this treatment have this problem, so hair transplants can give people who are losing their hair hope, but it can be hard to get a product that looks natural. Chapter 4: The aspect of gaining weight. These quick changes in Conor McGregor's appearance make people wonder about his journey and what caused such a big change in his looks. Fans of famous people like Conor McGregor often change their looks for a variety of reasons, such as health, personal, or even business reasons. But because of how much McGregor has changed, many people are curious about what his true intentions are and what this means for his physical appearance.
Look forward to getting back in myself soon. I'm a bad man. How do you look? There's levels to this game, so the game is...
Because people are talking a lot about Conor McGregor's new look after getting a hair transplant. According to reports, McGregor has gained over 30 pounds and now weighs almost 200 pounds. The most recent pictures of him going around the internet make him look much bigger. The change is astounding. He looks almost like an animated version of the person he was only 6 months ago. Some people have even said that he looks a lot like a famous wrestler who pretends to be Conor McGregor, which sounds funny and astonishing simultaneously. A lot of people have commented on how different McGregor looks now than he did a year ago. He looks older, bigger, thicker, and even more reddish. It seems like he has changed into a different person in a short amount of time. As spectators, it's normal to wonder what these kinds of changes mean for famous people like Conor McGregor. His changing looks make us think about how things change, who we are, and the stresses that come with being famous and being looked at closely. Chapter 5: His face and voice. Yet, the mysterious case of how his look changed over time. Under a thick layer of facial hair is a change that is just ready to be shown. It's like a movie story, and his beard hides him in a mysterious way. Don't worry though, because the big show is coming up soon. Halloween, the day when his facial fuzz will be judged. Once the razor does its thing, your eyes will be in for a wild ride. His face, a blank slate for change, will come out from behind the shadows of soft tissue that has grown too much, showing a new side of him. His pearly white teeth standing out against the background of change is like a rhythmic crescendo. A lot of people have talked about and speculated about Conor McGregor's recent return to the public eye to promote The Ultimate Fighter 31. The depth of his voice is one of the most obvious changes, along with the way he looks. This has made a lot of people wonder what would have changed his voice so dramatically in such a short time, and the few reasons why Conor's voice might have changed. First, watch this.
It just felt like the right thing to do, you know. The desert heat out here is different. The time is different. If you can gain any advantages in this game, you do it. And I'm in a position where I can fly my whole team out. I can get a big mansion. We can live good out here. Have everything under one roof. The correct way to do it. This is the way world champions do it. So this is what I have done. It's the evolution of fight preparation, and that's why we came out here.
It is the evolution, but it's also the way they used to do it back in the day. Mm-hmm. You know, Mike Tyson going to the Catskills, and Muhammad Ali would always have his camps in different remote places. This is kind of a throwback way of things.
Yeah, it could be considered something similar to that, but it's more so the fight is here, you know.
Now this one.
The Notorious Conor McGregor here, live from the Black Forge Inn on Saturday night. I just finished another amazing training session in preparation for my UFC comeback on June 29th. We are 9 weeks to the day, but that's then and this is now. And now is the Knuckle Mania, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships flagship event, live from Los Angeles and available around the world on pay-per-view for $29.99. $29.99, let's watch them pulp their face. But ladies and gentlemen, that's not all. On the broadcast, we have a mega McGregor sports and entertainment announcement. Tune in and find out. Take off the...
The first thing that won't happen is puberty, because Conor has already passed because he was too young. Though it does happen very rarely, the voice can keep getting deeper even into the early 30s. Number 2 is structural damage. This means that injuries or damage to the larynx, like what happened to Chris Leben, can also make the voice sound deeper and fuller. And the third is changes that come with age. So as we age, the vocal cords and larynx can naturally change, giving us a voice that sounds deeper and more adult. But because of how much Conor's voice has changed, many people think that there may be another, more controversial factor at play: the use of performance-enhancing drugs. Human growth hormone and Anavar are the PEDs that are known to make big changes in how people look and sound. It is known that these chemicals make more collagen and elastin, which could explain why Conor's skin and facial features are thicker and more defined. It's also known that HGH can make the larynx bigger, which can make the voice deeper and more powerful. Most of the time, athletes who use these kinds of PEDs have this side effect. Chapter 6: Alcohol. Seeing how Conor McGregor's looks seem to have changed over the years has been very mysterious. The former UFC champion used to be very healthy and full of life, but now he seems to have taken a worrying turn toward a more messy and drunk lifestyle. One of the most obvious changes is that Conor McGregor seems to be drinking a lot more. He always seems to have a drink with him when he's seen in public these days. This is very different from the focused, controlled fighter we used to know. It seems like the stresses of fame and success have taken him down a road that will destroy him. The signs that McGregor liked going out too much were there even in the early stages of his UFC career. He's been seen staggering around Las Vegas after big fights, which is a worrying trend of behavior that's gotten worse over time.
Jesus, for this momentous occasion, without the Lord.
I take that.
Listen, we're trying to make money off this. Don't know,
See, it's important to remember that these are just guesses, but the big changes in Conor's voice and look do make people worry, because Conor is well known. What he does and decides can have a big effect on his fans and the MMA community as a whole. He could lose his image and make other athletes more likely to do the same thing if it turns out that he did use performance-enhancing drugs. At the end of the day, only Conor can give the final answer to the questions about his change. But as fans and watchers, it's important to look at these conversations with a critical but caring eye, knowing that they are complicated and could have bad results. It's important to me as a fan that Conor McGregor stops and thinks about the road he's taken. He is an international star thanks to his skill and charisma, but it's clear that he's lost his way in some ways. I think it's time for him to get more help and remember the discipline and focus that made him a winner in the past.